Today I fucked up by leaving a real Christmas tree in my apartment until May. I actually fucked up 8 years ago, but time has worn down my pride enough that I'm willing to finally share this story with the world. It was recently suggested to me that I leave my Christmas tree up a little longer in order to further enjoy the cheeriness it brings to the living room. This is an easy thing to suggest when you haven't seen the things I've seen. When you haven't done the things that my boyfriend and I have done. You see, when you have 1 year when you leave your tree up until May, that experience changes you. It changes Christmas forever. We have always used real trees as opposed to artificial ones, which means they need to be disposed of after the holidays. Back when we lived in an apartment, they had a small window of time when you could leave the tree by the curb and they would haul it away for you. Unfortunately, we missed that window, which turned into weeks and weeks of pretending the tree just didn't exist. Sure, the ornaments came down, but the skeletal remains of Christmas stood in our living room as a monument to our evasion of basic responsibilities. One day, in late February or so, we realized we could be having friends over for dinner. Thought, oh my god, we can't let people know we still have this tree. So we did what any logical couple would do and we hid it in the closet with a white blanket over it. You can imagine how terrifying it was in the beginning when you would get up to use the restroom in the middle of the night and see an 8-foot-tall Christmas tree ghost looming in the doorway. I don't know what the final straw was. Maybe it was the storage space we were losing by having a massive cloaked Douglas fir in our closet. Maybe it was that we missed using the blanket that had taken on a new purpose in life. Whatever it was, we knew we couldn't avoid this issue any longer. The problem of how to dispose of the tree still existed. We couldn't leave it at the curb, and we knew wherever we took it, it was going to leave a breadcrumb trail of humiliation straight to our doorstep. That's when the saw came out. Into the wee hours of the night we carefully disassembled the tree until it was compact enough to fit into a cardboard box. By 2 a.m. we were covered in sweat and sap, but we were able to stealthily discard the box in a nearby dumpster. On that day, we vowed to never again let the disposal of the Christmas tree become an episode of Forensic Files. And now my shameful past is out in the open for the internet to enjoy. Happy New Year, all. TL, Doctor. Holiday procrastination took a turn for the worse when my apartment became Botanical Dexter scene. Also Happy New Year. Smile. Before clicking, I was very worried that this story was going to end with setting your place on fire. Dry trees burn terrifically. Yes, the story is funny, but dried out trees are a really bad fire hazard. Before LED lighting, my parents wouldn't let us turn the lights on the Christmas tree after New Year's for fear of a fire. I normally cut a couple of branches off mine every week and dispose of it that way, in little bits, same as any other corpse. Takes a few months. A friend of mine in college left a pumpkin from Halloween on her porch until move-out day in August. It literally looked like it had melted, and then been petrified. Though just know there's worse out there. Quite a few years ago when I still lived with my parents, I carved a bunch of mini pumpkins, and they lived on the front step for well over a year. They shriveled and dried out with little screaming faces. My mom kinda fell in love with them and wouldn't let my dad throw them out. And then my uncle's dog ate them. Better than the idiot that used to rent out the other side of our duplex. That moron tried to burn his overdue Christmas tree in the fireplace. Took the whole damn house down with it. So he just stuck it upright in the fireplace and it turned into a huge fireball? But the rush from the dismemberment and concealment makes you want to do it all over again. Just so you can taste the thrill one more time. Today I fucked up by telling a customer they're bad at their job. This happened a couple of years ago, but is by far the biggest fuck up I've ever committed. I was working in a cinema at the time and Avengers Endgame was out. I was working the day shift in the week, so it was relatively quiet. A woman came out of her Avengers screening complaining about the sound balance. I went to check in the screen and the movie sounded normal. So I went to check the sound level on the speakers and they were all set to the normal levels. Came back and explained to the woman that all of our levels were normal. She insisted that they weren't. Now, I'm somewhere somewhat of a movie buff and have noticed a trend in recent years of action films having really poor sound mixing. The dialogue is usually too quiet and the action too loud. I don't know where this trend came from, but everyone seemed to finally realize when Tenet came out and they couldn't hear a damn thing anyone was saying. So, I said to her that that's just how Endgame sounds. That for whatever reason, the sound mix has made the dialogue too quiet and that I find it to be a really annoying stylistic choice in modern filmmaking. The look of rage that engulfed her face cannot be described. I don't think I've ever seen someone go from 0 to 100 on the anger meter that fast. I am the sound mixer, she said. Turns out she worked at Pinewood Studios and was the person responsible for what I had just described as bad sound design to her face. She went on a whole tirade about how she knows more than me, as I just had to stand there and take it. I still stand by my belief that the sound mixing in Endgame was not good, but I never thought I'd end up saying that to the person responsible for it. Too long didn't read, was working at a cinema and a customer complained about Endgame being too quiet. I told her the sound mix was bad. Turns out she was one of the sound mixers for the movie. Edit: I am talking about Pinewood Studios in London, England, not the one in Atlanta, Georgia. Edit 2, there's no need to call her a bitch, guys. I've had far more hostile customers, believe me. Maybe she was just having a bad day. I'm sure she's a nice person. Edit 3, please stop suggesting that I should have taken her to personally inspect the equipment. I would have been fired for breaking a myriad of rules. It was a no-win situation. Edit 4, the cinema in question wasn't far from several major production studios and several high-profile location sites for big Hollywood movies. So the odds of me serving someone who worked on Endgame, which was partially made essentially down the road from me, are actually pretty high. Edit 5, she might have worked at Shepperton Studios, which is next to Pinewood. I'm honestly not sure which one it was. Final edit: I promise, I fully acknowledge that she knows more about sound mixing than me or most of the people in this thread. However, as consumers, we have a right to voice our opinion if we don't like a product. The fact that the vast majority of the commenters agree that action films nowadays are way too loud in some places and quiet in others shows that there is clearly a problem. You don't have to be a professional chef to know if your food tastes bad, and you don't need to be a professional sound mixer to know if a movie sounds like trash. If she was in charge of it, why was she complaining about it? She was convinced our speakers were programmed incorrectly. Every film comes with a recommended sound setting and it's usually 5.5. The sound mix for that movie did suck in the theater. I agree 100%. If I had bigger balls I would have told her she should have done a better job. Instead I just became a deer in the headlights and took a verbal beatdown. I worked at the Genius Bar years ago and this customer was asking why their Sprint service was slow and bad compared to their last carrier, Verizon. I basically went on talking about how bad Sprint is in our area and how their data is the slowest you can get. Turns out, a Sprint exec was at the table when I did all this and called to complain. I did not feel bad at all. Sorry for telling the truth. Stop being shitty. Yeah, my family switched to Sprint for a while and loved the unlimited data. The running joke in our family was they could offer cheap unlimited data because you never had cell signal to use it. You're right. You can't watch a Marvel film at home without constantly changing volume. Check your sound settings on your TV. If you have a night mode and turn it on, it equalizes the volumes so the action scenes aren't blowing your eardrums out and the talking scents aren't all whispers. Today I fucked up by paying too much attention to my BF's shirt. This actually happened yesterday, but it's hilarious and I don't really want to share this with people I know IRL. My BF was away for a week to see his family, in our COVID-19 safety bubble, for the holidays. We were laying in bed catching up and one thing led to another and I started going down on him. We were just starting out so he still had a shirt on. His shirt was Vault Boy from the video game Fallout, giving a big thumbs up. Now, I have never played Fallout before, but I know about it since it's pretty popular. Unfortunately, I know enough about it that as I am giving him that sexy eye contact during the BJ, I kind of notice the Vault Boy and the thumbs up. I guess I wanted to fit in with the Vault Boy cause my horny brain decided to give my BF a huge thumbs up while I'm deep-throating his pole. When he looked at me all confused, I decided to very confidently say, I am a vault boy. I live underground. Bless him, he tried to keep a straight face cause I literally said that and started blowing him again. When I realized what I just said I laughed until I cried. I was still eating dicto and laughing, crying and choking all at once. Needless to say we had to take a sexy time break and now he won't stop telling me I'm his vault boy. Too long didn't read, got cock blocked by the vault boy from Fallout. Fun fact: Fallout is a post-apocalyptic game that's set after nukes go off. They live in a vault to protect them from the blast as well as the deadly radiation. This is also the reason why the game mascot is a guy in a vault suit posing with a thumbs up. General rule of thumb, pun intended, for a nuclear bomb is to hold up your thumb, and if the mushroom is bigger than your thumb, you need to run away. This is a part of hazardous materials training. The hazmat rule of thumb. My husband and I often find random things funny during our intimate moments. It helps he has a super sexy laugh to match lol. I think being able to laugh together during sex/foreplay is a good sign about your relationship and sex life. Smile. I definitely agree. I used to be embarrassed about anything unsexy like any noises or stuff. Having a partner you can laugh with and not take too seriously actually helps me enjoy sex more. I guess it helps me not be worried about impressing them and living in the moment. Smile. Of course sometimes my brain should be stopped, as seen by this FU ha ha ha. I was in a call on Discord while reading his and it took me 5 minutes to tell them what was happening. I guess I wanted to fit in with the vault boy. /brand new sentence. At least you didn't make a joke about choking on his dog meat. Yeah, I'm going to hell for this one. Grimacing face. ETA, holy crap. I didn't expect this to blow up. I guess if I'm going to hell, I'm taking 13,000 of you with me. Mahahaha. But in all seriousness, thank you so much for my first awards and a megaton of upvotes.